Hello everyone, my name's Katrina and today I'm doing the It's Finally Fall book tag. In the good old Down Under, it is now fall, or as we say, autumn. So I decided that it was time for me to do this tag. So I'm doing it today. This was created by Alina from Tall Tales. I don't think I was tagged by anybody, but I'm doing it anyway. And now let's get on to the questions. In fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. I actually want to mention two books with very vivid settings. The first one is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. The descriptions were just so colourful and so vivid. I could really picture the setting in my mind so very clearly. And in particular, I really enjoyed the descriptions of the dreamscapes. Those were just so beautiful. The other book that I want to mention is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Attier. And this one is again very rich with the descriptions, but the one thing in particular I found to be the most vivid was the descriptions of food. I think it was just done so well that I felt like I was tasting these things, even though with some of the food I haven't myself tasted, I could just imagine what it would taste like. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that has beautiful writing, but deals with a heavy topic. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and in this one, the narrator is death, and I thought that the perspective of death was so incredibly fascinating and unique. Death has a fascination with colour, so often the sky is described as certain colours to evoke different emotions and moods, and it was just so atmospheric, and the writing is just perfection, and that's one of the things I love about The Book Thief. Among many other things, it's a fantastic book, but the writing really from the get-go stood out to me. Here's an example. A small theory. People observe the colours of a day only at the beginnings and ends, but to me it's quite clear that a day merges through a multitude of shades and intonations, with each passing moment. A single hour can consist of thousands of different colours. Waxy yellows, cloud spat blues, murky darknesses. In my line of work, I make it a point to notice them. I just love it so much. Fall is back to school season. Name a non-fiction book that taught you something new. The first thing that could really come to mind with this question was The Beauty Myth. This book discusses the relationship between beauty and image with sexism and the oppression of women. This book definitely did teach me a lot. There was a lot that I learned, a lot of things that I hadn't considered before, and whilst a lot of the information is outdated, there are definitely some things that are still present today, and it's kind of depressing realizing that some of the things that were going on decades ago haven't disappeared. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, friend group that you would like to be a part of. I'm gonna say like the kind of group of Darrow, Severo, Victra, Virginia, Ragnar, just like that squad from the Red Rising saga. These characters have gone through so much, and they're constantly fighting for themselves and their friends, and they aren't perfect friends either. They have their rough patches. There are different conflicts and tensions between different characters, but I liked that authenticity there, and more so and most importantly I loved how loyal these characters are. They love each other so fiercely. The colourful leaves are falling on the ground. Show us a pile of fall coloured spines. I just love the fact that so many of my favourite books fit in with this colour scheme. Aren't they beautiful? Here I have The Pirate's Wish by Cassandra Rose Clarke, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jake Christoph, The Martian by Andy Weir, and The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fire. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story. The Name of the Wind is a perfect example of this. The story is framed as such that we have a man named the Chronicler who approaches Kvothe, who is a very well-known man throughout the land, and asks him to tell his life story. And that's what the majority of the Kingkiller Chronicles are. It's Kvothe going through his life story, and it's great. The nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. This was a bit of a freaky book, so there's kind of 3 different layers to the storytelling in this one, but it all centers on this family that moves into a house which is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. There are some freaky things that happen. Some of these things happen in the dark, so it's kind of perfect with this theme. Proceed with caution. Don't read this at night. The days are getting colder. Name a short and heartwarming read that could warm up someone's cold and rainy day. Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This is a middle grade novel, but I think definitely appeals to all ages. I read this a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. It is about a young boy named Augie who has a craniofacial condition, and it was such a beautiful story. There are some sadder moments moments, but by the end I was crying tears of joy. It was just so incredibly heartwarming. I loved seeing the different relationships that Augie develops, and it's beautiful. Please read it. Fall returns every year. Name an old favourite that you'd like to return to soon. I'm planning on rereading Vicious by V.E. Schwab later in the year to not only revisit this wonderful, wonderful story, but also to prepare myself for the sequel, which is Vengeful, and it should be coming out later this year. I'm really excited about that. Fall is a perfect time for cozy reading nights. Name some of your favourite cozy reading accessories. In terms of getting cozy, I definitely need between 3 and 4 pillows to prop myself up in bed. I also need my fuzzy blanket that will keep me warm no matter how cold it is. If it's a particularly cold night, then I'll have a beanie as well as a hot cup of tea. To create some atmosphere, I also like to light a candle, and of course, in order to read, I need my glasses. Spread the autumn appreciation and tag some people. Since it is autumn down here in the southern hemisphere, I'm just going to be tagging some of my Australian friends for now. I tag Pierre Ford, Is That Chammy, Novelty Corner, and G Swizzle Books. So I look forward to seeing your guys' videos. Aside from that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tag video. I will see you very soon in a new video, but until then, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye!